The month of March is widely known for the madness of college basketball, yet the past 3 weeks of trades in the NFL have sent shockwaves throughout the league in what can only be described as a trading frenzy. 4 teams made moves to find their new franchise quarterback. The Browns sent a package including 3 first-rounders to the Texans to make Deshaun Watson the guy in Cleveland. Now, despite his obvious talent, the move does come with some risk. While Watson avoided criminal charges of sexual misconduct, he still has 22 active civil lawsuits of the same nature. Staying in the AFC, the Broncos got their best signal caller since the days of Peyton Manning, bringing Russell Wilson to the Mile High State for the price of 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and a 5th-round pick. A year after trading for Carson Wentz, the Colts sent the former 2nd overall pick to the newly named Washington Commanders. The Colts then followed up this move by acquiring Matt Ryan from the Falcons as they still look to fill the cleats of Andrew Luck. It's been 24 hours since the NHL trade deadline, so we have a lot of new faces and a lot of new places. Let's break it down with NCC's Melanie Schickler. Melanie, the Avalanche have dominated this season and are the favorites to hoist the Stanley Cup in June. Everyone is chasing Colorado at this point. After the deadline moves Monday, which team in the Western Conference has a chance to derail the Avalanche? The Raiders made a big splash by sending a 1st and 2nd rounder to the Packers in exchange for Davante Adams. The All-Pro receiver signed a 5-year deal with Vegas once the trade was finalized. Adams reportedly wanted out of Green Bay despite their willingness to match the contract he signed with Vegas. This all comes less than a week after Aaron Rodgers signed a 3-year extension to stay in Green Bay. If the AFC West wasn't scary enough, the Chargers added former Defensive Player of the Year Khalil Mack to the division for safe measure. He'll pair up with Joey Bosa to form a fearsome tandem off the edge in LA. And for all the big trade news throughout the month of March, leave it to none other than Tom Brady to steal the offseason headlines. Not even a month into his retirement, the 7-time champion decided he's returning to Tampa Bay for his 23rd season, fulfilling his promise of playing until age 45. Not even a career night from Cole Swider could lift the Orange past the Tar Heels. The forward recorded a career high of 36 points, including 7 threes. Joe Girard's layup with 2 seconds remaining sent the game into overtime. However, the Tar Heels scored 8 consecutive points in the extra period to drop Syracuse's record to 500 on the season. With a 15-15 record, SU men's basketball has one more chance to avoid its first losing season under Jim Boeheim. Syracuse ends regular season play at home Saturday when Miami comes to town. The Hurricanes currently sit at 4th in the ACC with a 12-6 conference record. The last time these two teams met was back in January when Syracuse lost by 1 point on the road. While men's basketball gears up for the madness of March, SU women's basketball is preparing for an ACC tournament matchup with Clemson. Syracuse enters the conference tourney as the 12th seed after finishing with the 4-14 ACC record. 1 win better than their opponents, 13th seeded Clemson. Syracuse dominated Clemson 86-46 in their one matchup this season. Tip-off is set for 1 o'clock tomorrow. Looking for sports to tune into right now, Syracuse's 3rd-ranked women's lacrosse team tipped off against 6th-ranked Northwestern at 4 o'clock today. The Orange look to stay unbeaten in the early goings of their season. Sticking with lacrosse, the men's team has gone off to an uncharacteristic 1-2 start and will face a ranked opponent tomorrow for the 3rd straight time. After losses to the top 2 teams in the country, Syracuse will host 13th-ranked Army at the stadium. It's been a rough start to Gary Gates' time as men's lacrosse head coach. SU's men's 1-2 record is the worst start to an Orange lacrosse season since 2007. The players who joined new teams yesterday have just over 1 month left in the regular season to get acclimated with their new teammates. Then, the 16 teams in the playoffs will begin the quest for the Stanley Cup on May 2nd. A player, a coach, and even a father. West Genesee hockey will always have the fingerprint of one man who has helped turn the program around. For NCC Sports, I'm Ryan Amick.
West Genesee, home to the Wildcats hockey team and their head coach Frank Calabufo. Former player and assistant with the team, Frank has been the Wildcats head coach for over 25 years. With more than 400 career wins to his name, Coach has developed a strong reputation for West Genesee, who once again find themselves in the postseason. Their success can largely be attributed to the team culture Coach Calabufo has worked to develop, in more ways than one. Not everywhere will you find a hockey coach that assigns summer reading. Coach Calabufo had his players read Legacy by James Kerr. His intentions for the assigned reading were to build chemistry among players. You don't need to look at game film to see just how in sync his players are.
During the national anthem, it's part of our identity. It's been this way for 2 decades. But our kids for the anthem line up in numerical order. They're all holding their helmets the same way, and they're motionless until the last note of the song is played.
On the ice, during the anthem, and for competition, Coach has his players working not only with, but for one another. Selflessness is preached to the team, and respect for one's opponent is expected.
You don't need to tell the opponent how good you are. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. We just don't have a lot of tolerance for that. So if we see that, we obviously address it.
This attitude makes it easy to understand why West Genesee was awarded this year's Sportsmanship Award from Section 3, an award voted on by other coaches. Coach Calabufo has built a winning program that he hopes can inspire more kids to play hockey, just like it did for his children, coaching 3 sons and 1 daughter.
They grew up watching just how much fun it was playing in this program, and like every other kid down here, they aspired to play here someday, and fortunately they had that opportunity. But it was fun. It was fun to be able to share this experience with my family.
Though he cherished the time with his kids, it's the hockey players of tomorrow that inspire Frank to keep on coaching.
But when you see the little youth hockey players lining that hallway, just looking to fist pump the players as they're coming out of the locker room before the game and then in between periods after the game, I think that's what's most rewarding, because these little kids grow up and they aspire to dress in that room across the hall and to put on that jersey themselves one day. And when you see the interaction between the little kids and the current players, and then the alumni that come back, I mean, it's like, it truly is like, it just, these kids are just passing the torch to the kids that they used to be.
It's like, it's almost looking at your past self, like
Right.
seeing you as a little kid, just.
With coach's guidance, the Wildcats were able to defeat Baldwinsville 2-1 last night to take home the division title. Breaking news out of the MLB, the Players Association has rejected the league's offer for a new CBA. Players and owners have been meeting in Florida since yesterday, trying to agree on a new deal. With today's 5 p.m. deadline passing, MLB now looks to be staying in a lockout. And that'll do it for NCC Sports. I'm Ryan Amick.